Hello, welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. That was a very hard thing to get through when I was talking to Chizuru there. It got pretty real there for a moment.
ところでユージ、私は酸っぱいものも平気で飲んじゃう最強のツンデレなんだけど、酸っぱいものに食べ合わせとかってあると思う？
Foods to avoid. You talking about that superstition where certain combinations of dishes supposedly cause some terrible side effect? It's mostly just a bunch of old wives' tales.
そうなの？私はまあ食べ合わせなんて気にしてないけどね。グレープフルーツだってもちゃもちゃ食べちゃうし。
Sour stuff. I guess they clash with salty things, so the bad combinations would probably be stuff like eel or pickled plums. Supposedly you get pretty severe indigestion.
よっぽど多く食べなきゃ平気じゃないの？ものによっては含有されてる栄養素を打ち消し合うこともあるみたいだから避けた方が無難っちゃ無難だけど。
Learning from the wisdom of the ancients is all well and good, but I wouldn't get too hung up on myths like that. Even that famous legend about durian fruit and alcohol causing some fatal reaction turned out to be a load of crap. But why are you asking in the first place? Planning to start cooking?
そういうわけじゃないけど。なんでもないわよ。私は食べ合わせなんて気にしないおてんばがあるってことよ。おでんぱがある？くら！なんじゃくら！やっぱりチルチルは電波を受信したり宇宙と交信したりしてるのよさ。そんなことしてるか！ 食べ合わせそんなに気になる？健康面を気にしてのこと？気にならない。気にしてたから聞いたんじゃないの？あにゃ、違う。そうじゃないのです。
What's wrong? Your tsundere is starting to fade.
消えてないわよ。そういうのはね。 いちいち指摘しなくても平気よ。なぜなら大抵そうなった時は自分でも分かってって何を言わせるのよ。私はこれが素なんだからね。皆様お揃いで薬物パーティーですか？それはもう終わったわよ。いや、その言い方は語弊が。パーティーなんかじゃないわよ。もしそうならユミコもいるはずでしょう。私は仲間外れが嫌いなのよ。それもそうですね。となると、榊さんはまたお一人で読書でしょうか。 榊さんってちょっと距離を感じるわよね。仲が悪いとかそういうことじゃないんだけど。そうかしら。私はもうハローユミコ、今日も元気にしてる？でもあんたの健康なんて気にしてないんだからね。ってな具合でバッチリ挨拶できるわよ。みちる様の社交性には頭が下がります。まるで 壊れたダンプカーのように相手の懐に飛び込んでいきますよね。
Very specific. Yeah, I expect to get carried away with that very regularly, probably resulting in a lot of nasty glares from Sakaki.
確かにそういうこともないわけじゃないわね。
So who does Sakaki spend the most time with then?
そう言われると難しいな。私はマキナの面倒を見てることが多いけど。そうなのよさ。いつもアマネーに上から下までやってもらってんの。私はサチに用事を頼むことが多いかしらね。そうですね。休憩しようかなというタイミングでみちる様が何かをおっしゃられることが多いです。でも働いている時は充実感があるので、ちっとも苦ではありません。ふふん、そうでしょう。サチは私のメイドだもの。でも同い年のマキちゃんと一緒にいることも多いです。
Makina's a popular one.
マキナ人気者。チルチルは人気ないね。まあ性格めんどくさいし仕方ないのよさ。何よその言い方。失礼しちゃうわね。プンプン。みちる様、冷静になった上でその現実を受け入れてください。みちる様は人気が。チルチルはお友達がいないからちゃんと作った方がいいのよさ。みんな私のことをどう思って接してるの？哀れみ。
She's just having fun.
まあそういう感じ。
Not to worry, Michiru. You can always make friends inside your head. They'll never reject you. Dude.
何それ？どういうこと？頭の中にいる友達って？
Michiru's reaction to my attempt at a joke isn't quite what I expected. She's staring wide-eyed at me, waiting on tender hooks. For more details, I take a deep breath and politely begin to explain. Well, the most common term would be imaginary friend. It's a fictional companion that lives solely in your imagination. Pretty typical in childhood. Some people only make one, some people dream up a whole cast of characters. Although they'll usually drop the idea as they grow up, I've heard some people keep their imaginary friends around even into adulthood. Although Michiru listened carefully to my every word, it doesn't seem to have been what she was looking for. Her shoulders sag in disappointment. I guess some people have long conversations with their dolls or stuffed animals instead.
みちるは空想とか好きそうだもんね。そんなことないわよ。私はいつだって現実を見据えて生きているのよ。ビシッ。
Oh, that a fact? So what's reality the way you see it?
私にとっての現実？急に難しいこと言うのね。ちょっと待ちなさいよ。
Michiru folds her arms and closes her eyes. After a long moment of thought, she stands up straight and delivers her answer.
私にとっての現実とは、私が今ここにいることよ。
Judging from her dramatic delivery, Michiru must have thought that was a really impressive line. Sadly, her audience is less than responsive. There's a moment of awkward silence.
そりゃそうなのよさ。ここにいなかったら現実じゃないのよ。チルチルは考えすぎて一周回って当たり前のことを言ってしまったのよ。 そうね。みちるには難しい質問だったかもしれないわね。みちる様、わからないときはわからないと言ってくださいね。そうすれば風見さんも最初から質問しないはずです。ちゃんと頭数から外していただけるはずです。みちる様は頭数にない。ちょっと、なんでみんなして人のことちょっとかわいそうな子扱いするのよ。今の答え完璧じゃない。むしろ哲学的でさえあるじゃない。
Can you define metaphysical?
当たり前よ。教えなさい。開き直るスピードがより速くなった。
You've disappointed me. I'm making a note not to expect anything from you in the future. Not that I had been previously, but I clearly need to lower my forecast even further. From this moment forward, I'll be formally handling you as an authentic, officially certified idiot.
そうやってまた私のことバカにする。バカじゃないんだからね。そういうの禁止。ドンストップ。ひとまずミスドンストップは置いとくのよさ。放置プレートはマキナも成長したものね。プレーじゃないのよ。本気で放置よ。では話を変えてユージ、君のお友達ってあんまり想像できないけど、子供の頃とかはどうだったの？
As a kid, my friends... The words bring to mind a young girl I met under some very unusual circumstances. Our relationship was basically about helping each other stay alive, but I guess you could have called it a sort of friendship. Then again, after a while, she disappeared from that place, and I was left to fend for myself again. Tricky question. I'm not the most socially gifted person around.
そう？多少気難しいとこもあるけど、ちゃんとしてるじゃない。これからどんな友達が欲しいとかないの
？I'm drawing a blank on the concept of friends, so I decide to mentally substitute the term buddies. I think I can provide more concrete answers about the teammates I've known on the field. Well, I'll pass on anyone who holds me back. The useless ones don't have any right to complain if they end up getting shot in the back.
後ろから撃たれるってどんな状況下での友達を想定してるのよ。
Just a figure of speech. Nobody's actually going to shoot an ally, but you should try to learn who you can count on to watch your back, and who you can't expect anything from, and how to deal with the latter. Anyway, I like people who are easy to work with. I guess that's really the only thing I'm looking for, to be honest. As long as they don't get in my way, I'm not going to complain.
現実的なのね。友達っていうよりは仕事仲間みたい。
Maybe. Sometimes I think tools make better partners than human beings. They have a clear purpose, makes them a lot simpler to deal with.
ユージ、人を道具扱いするのは良くないと思うよ。
Didn't mean to imply that. I'm just saying that tools tend to be reliable. Once you've used a piece of machinery enough, it practically becomes a part of you, a simple extension of your body that does what you need. The more affection you give a tool, the more smoothly it operates. The tool won't betray you, not often at least.
何の話だかわからなくなってきたのよさ。
I don't know where he's going with this. Sorry, got a bit off track there. To put it more simply, I don't think I've ever really had something you could call a best friend.
そうなのよね。友達と親友ってまた違うから、そうなると難しいわよね。私はあんまりそういうのは考えたことないのよさ。
I've had a couple best friends. I haven't seen them in years.
私は皆様のお役に立ちたい一心ですし。
We've been discussing friendship for a while now. Not that the concept has gotten any clearer for me, but at this point, I realize that one person has stopped participating in the conversation. A certain bottle blonde has slowly taken her distance from the group in our friendly chat, her face growing increasingly gloomy. Her usual energy's vanished. Wonder if something's wrong. I can see beads of sweat forming on Machira's forehead. Maybe her stomach's upset. As she demonstrated just a few minutes ago, the girl isn't the sharpest tool in the shed. As she is an idiot, it wouldn't be surprising if she ate food off the ground and found herself in intestinal distress. Yes, I can easily imagine the girl stuffing her cheeks with unidentified berries she found on some bush. I take a good, careful look at Michiru. Indeed, this is the face of someone who'd go scavenging in trash cans once she got a little hungry. Oh, what? No, my mistake. She probably doesn't even have to be hungry first. That wasn't very nice. I just can picture her plucking some tasty-looking, colorful mushroom off the ground and chowing down without a second thought. Idiots are such a handful. Perhaps she wandered down to the beach, spotted a crab, chased after it while drooling, then found herself under attack from a jealous macaque coveting the same prize. How does he even know what these words are? Honestly, does this woman have no sense whatsoever when it comes to her hunting and gathering? Just entering a wild monkey's territory is dangerous. What kind of fool goes so far as to try to steal their prey? Come to think of it, crab-eating macaques don't even live in Japan. Does this girl wander all the way into Southeast Asia in search of something tasty to stick in her craw? This is just too much. I have to say something. I abruptly jump off the sofa and drop my hands on Michiru's shoulders. Everyone flinches in surprise, but I pay no mind to their stares. I keep my gaze firmly focused on Michiru as I speak. It's amoebic dysentery, I'm sure of it. Huh. Don't worry, I have some experience with this. You were bitten by a crab-eating macaque, right? Try to learn from this experience. Stop scavenging for food for the time being. Don't get me wrong, I'm not criticizing you for the thought. After all, procuring food from your environment is the most crucial and fundamental of survival skills. I'm very proud of you for trying, okay? That said, your particular actions in this case were mistaken. You acted rashly out of ignorance, but there's nothing to be ashamed of. I'll make sure this doesn't happen again, and... I sharply turned to face the rest of the group and raised my voice to a harsh shout. Let me just warn the rest of you right now. You don't have any right to look down on Michiru just because she's caught amoebic dysentery. This could have happened to any one of you. How can you be so sure? We're going to learn from this mistake. You're all going to know what plants are edible, which are poisonous, and how to avoid savage monkeys. I don't want you crying to me for help when the Japanese islands are covered in jungle. Alright then, first things first. I'll be accompanying Michiru for the moment. Come on, we're going to the bathroom. I need to get a look to confirm my diagnosis. You were scavenging your food, right? Hence the infection. Then what's with the sweating? Your face is pasty and you've got nasty beads of perspiration on your forehead. You sure don't look healthy to me. Amane, watching Michiru and me with concern, enters the conversation. Not in the least. She's suffering from brutal diarrhea. Even if you don't have dysentery, we need to properly identify the problem. Whatever infectious disease you've caught, we'll need to take the appropriate countermeasures. Understood?
Michiru-sama, 保健室まで私がご一緒させていただきます。
Not necessary, Sanchi. There's a possibility she's still infectious. I probably have more experience dealing with this sort of thing than you. Come on, let's go. Listen, maggot, how many times do I have to tell you not to make light of dysentery? The small things are what get you. You change your socks regularly when you're in Vietnam, and you always treat diarrhea with the proper respect. You're awfully stubborn. But anyway, this illness sure came out of nowhere. You looked fine until we started talking about best friends or whatever it was. Chiri's face fills with pain, and she clutches a hand to her chest. In the next moment, she's leaning heavily against the wall as if to keep herself from falling to the ground. What's wrong? Are you in pain? Wait, is it your chest rather than your stomach?
願い。ちょっとだけだからこういうことには慣れてるのよ。
Don't worry, chest pain is something we should be responding to immediately, but it seems this is a familiar occurrence for Michiru. She has the most information, so for the moment I'll have to trust her judgment. Alright, if you say so, but don't overdo it. If it feels worse than usual, let me know right away.
わかったわよ。あんたに心配なんてしてもらいたくないんだからね。
You've got guts, young tsundere. Dumping herself lightly on the back, Michiru slowly settles her ragged breathing down. In time, the beads of sweat on her forehead disappear, and the expression of pain on her face fades away. I see. I tend not to trust sick people when they tell me I'll be fine, as a general rule, but I guess sometimes the person in question does know best. No one knows their own body other than themselves.
言ったでしょ。ちょっとした貧血よ、貧血。あんたは気にしなくていいの。
I don't think anemia typically causes chest pain.
私の場合は感じるの。だからもし今後こういうことがあっても軽くスルーしなさいよね。それとあんまりこういう姿他の子に見せたくないから黙ってなさいよ。
If you've got a chronic illness, I think it'd be best if the people around you knew enough to react appropriately in an emergency. But if you're that opposed to the idea, we can write a memo and stick it on your forehead.
もう私が黙ってなさいって言ったら黙ってなさいよね。わかった？
If you insist.
それならよし。じゃあ戻るわよ。みんな、ミチル様のお帰りよ。さっきのはただの貧血。心配しなくていいのよ。あれ、もう戻ってきたの？元気になってよかったのよさ。当たり前じゃない。私を誰だと思ってるの？ツンデレキング、ミチル様よ。 一時はどうなることかと。
Wouldn't that be Queen?
サーチ、そんなこと言ってる暇があったらお水持ってきてちょうだい。喉が渇いたわ。私はナチュラルミネラルウォーターをご所望よ。はい、ただいまお持ちいたします。戻ってきた途端にさっちゃんに命令なんて。 すっかり元気になったみたいね。もともとちょっと貧血だっただけよ。レバーを食せば問題なす。それじゃあ、また盛り上がっていくわよ。そんなに盛り上がるような話してたっけ？してないなら盛り上げていくわよ。オラオラ。 これだけ元気なら心配しなくても大丈夫そうね。
Once Lemmy gets started with idle gossip in earnest, it won't end anytime soon. In accordance with that rule, the group's conversation stretches on endlessly. Finding a good moment, I slip away silently. When I leave the dorm, I bump into Sakaki, a non-participant in the ongoing girl talk. I know she's not the most sociable type, but even so, she's known the others longer than I have. She might have some sort of an answer for me. Hey, Sakaki, just now, Michiru got sick out of nowhere. Don't worry, it didn't turn out to be anything serious. It seemed like she was actually completely used to it. Have you seen something like that happen to her before? I want to like Sakaki, but she's just kind of mean.
記憶にない。いつもバカみたいに騒いでるじゃない。
Which would mean she's trying to hide it.
どういうこと？松島さん、病気か何かなの？
No, I don't think so. Sorry for the weird question all of a sudden.
いいえ、大丈夫。
Incidentally, Sakaki, please don't mention what I said to anyone else. It seems Michiru doesn't want people worrying about her.
そうね。余計な詮索をされたくないのは誰も同じだろうし。そうすれば。
Thanks. I'll see you later. Relationships are difficult things. Too often, we hide ourselves out of consideration for others and dress up ugly reality with happy lies. Keep it up long enough, and the truth is left irreparably tangled with fiction. Everyone understands that the ideal relationship is based on straightforward honesty. But that straightforward road feels as circuitous as a maze. Once you take the first step, our hearts are hidden from each other regardless of our intentions. As we stumble through the twists and turns of life, the most we can do is pray that we won't lose our way in the one maze we ourselves have created. Oh. But I think that might actually be the most difficult thing of all. If we can manage that much, every path would lie open to us. Birdie deep, Yuji. It's very difficult to use your time off effectively. In particular, when you're in a profession like mine, your holidays tend to be irregular and come with many restrictions on how you can spend them. It's hard to make plans ahead of time, and when you do, they'll be spoiled as often as not. As a result, I tend to use my free days to catch up on sleep, get an extra exercise, and read books, things that I can do without the need for any advanced planning and preparation. The major side effect is that I've never been able to form much in the way of a hobby or interest to live in my usual routine. My schedule may have changed once I entered this school, but my mildly pathetic recreational habits remain much the same. Oh.
無趣味人間、ここに極まれりって感じね。
I'm working through a calisthenics routine in the dorm lobby. Amani is providing helpful commentary.
生きていることが普通で仕方ない。でも俺には生きるしかないんだ。
Look, the stage whispers and dramatic sighs are starting to get on my nerves. How about you just come over here and tell me off to my face? You got something to say?
昨日の昼間から柔軟体操やってる男とかつまんなくてヘドが出そうなのよさ。
Hey, take it back. Do me a favor and stick to sniping behind my back. This is more infuriating than I expected.
にしてもさ、本当にやること何もないの？ヘドはさすがに出ないけど、見ててため息の一つもつきたくもなるわよ、それ。
Amani squats down next to me as she speaks, her face full of pity. Give me a break here. It's better than sitting around doing nothing at all, don't you think?
確 にそうだけどさ、それでもせっかくの土曜なんだから少しはなんかこうもっとそれらしいことしたらいいんじゃないの？
This woman can be such a pain at times. Bringing my calisthenics to a halt for the moment, I stand up and turn to face Amane. Alright then, as you grow your professional woman of leisure, Miss Amane, please teach me exactly how to make delightful use of my Saturdays. I'm all ears. I can feel the sarcasm. Very simple question, Amane. How do you spend your own free time?
いやだから週末のアバンチュールを優雅に過ごしまくる人生の達人周防天音先生に素晴らしい余暇のエンジョイの仕方を伝授してもらおうと思ったんだが、口真似すんな。それに何よその安いコピー。アバンチュール処女解放、そしてびっくり開花。こうさ、顔めがけて水平にチョップとか打っていいと思う？
Yes. Don't ask me. So, how do you spend your weekends, Amane?
そこに話戻すんだ。戻すんだ。話。
Since you go around calling other people dull human beings, I'm sure you have some really interesting hobbies yourself, right? Spit it out.
習慣、大人の隠れ家とかに特集されそうなパーフェクトな趣味なんでしょうな。さあ、どうぞ。マキナ、後で覚えてなさいよ。私の趣味は掃除と洗濯と料理かな。
I drop my hands abruptly onto Amane's shoulders. I'm afraid you made a serious mistake here, my friend. Please allow me to explain in detail.
ごめん、分かってるからやめて。
Things you just listed are not what we'd call hobbies.
ダメ、お願い言わないで。
Firmly maintaining my grip on Amane as she squirms around violently, I stare into her eyes, plaster on a fake smile, and deliver a blow of truth. Those are chores. 分かってたけど改めて言われるとすごく惨めだ。Amane at last escapes from my grasp, collapsing to her knees as she hangs her head in shame. Makina trots over to Amane's side and gives her back a few commiserating thumps.
まあなんだ、そのうち君にも生きがいってもんが見つかるかもしれんから。それまではつまらない専業主婦でも頑張ってやってみるといいじゃないかね。しかしやっぱりチョップをさ、こう。
Well, you're the one raising the girl. Discipline her as you see fit. Anyway, with this level of instruction, it doesn't seem likely I'm going to find myself a hobby worth being proud of anytime soon. 昼間から何をギャーギャー騒いでるのよ。うるさくて起きちゃったじゃない。Tear arrives on the scene. She's obviously been awake for several hours already. More like slides into the scene. Probably thought our noise was a good excuse to be Nevi. By the way, Nevi would be Kansai slang for someone with a desperate need to stick their nose into other people's conversations. I've been picking up a bit of this stuff from Amane lately. 有事の無趣味ぶりをみんなで弾劾してたのよ。 Yeah, I don't have anything particularly worthwhile to occupy my leisure time, which they decided to pester me about.
確かにあんたは趣味とかなさそうよね。ずっと部屋で親指だけの腕立て伏せとかしてそうなイメージ。
I understand what she means, but at that point, wouldn't it technically be a finger stand rather than an arm stand?
チルチルの趣味はあれだもんね。
Oh, she does.
何言うのよいきなし。だってチルチルが毎日することで習慣になりそうなのってそれぐらいしか思いつかないのよさ。
Do you have any proof?
あんたに私の何がわかるって言うのよ。そんなの毎日はしてないわよ。猿みたいな扱いをしないでくれる。毎日じゃないにしてもしてるのは間違いないのよね。それはってあのね、ユウジがいる前でする話じゃないでしょ。あら、私は堂々と言えるわよ。昨日だってユウジのことを考えながらこううっとりした口調で明らかに誘うイメージでそんなことを言うな。ユウジもなんとか言ったらどうなのよ。
Sorry, but what exactly am I supposed to say here?
そんな下品なこととか言わないようにしなさいとかこういうこと言ってたしなめればいいじゃないの。で、チルチルは週に何回すんの？
I don't know.
ユウジをおかずにしたことある？父とか思い出せる？皆さん集まってミチル様の G の話ですか？
No, not her too. No.
もうここの建物ごと爆破してやりたい。
No, you have Sachi out of this.
爆破には
That's what I mean by her getting corrupted.
資材が必要になってくるのであまり現実的な手段とは言えませんよ。わかってるわよそんなこと。例え話を本気にしないでよ。申し訳ありません。ミチル様ならばやりかねないと思いまして。
Try to keep it down, will you? Well, since I've come here, I guess my leisure time has been increasingly filled with this sort of boisterous, trivial chat. Even in that alone, I think I've gained something from entering this school. And that would be, by the way, where's Sakaki? Considering the topic of our conversation, I don't think she'd be sticking around for long, even if she did drop by, but I haven't seen our box cutter girl even once today. At a glance, her normal reserved seat, next to the pillar at the edge of the lobby, doesn't seem to have been disturbed recently. Today, 出かけてるわよ。大きなトートバッグを下げてましたね。かなり早い時間でした。そんなに早い時間に？ええ、私がちょうど起きた時でしたから5時過ぎぐらいでしょうか。Yeah, that's early any way you look at it. It's one thing if you're a compulsive morning runner like me, but most people aren't going to wake up at that hour on a Saturday. Great scores with their radio exercises, or old men doing Tai Chi for their blood pressure, maybe. バッグの中、何入ってんだろう。なんでしょうね。
大量のカッターが入ってるとかでしょうか。相変わらず謎よね、あの子は。というか前にもこんな話したっけ、ここで。
We did, now that you mention it. Imani's words bring to mind the previous Sakaki incident, set off after a round of scary stories in the lobby. That affair shed light on one aspect of Sakaki's true nature, but not a particular large or revealing one, and I haven't gained any further insight since. Sakaki's private life is as mysterious as always. As soon as we get back from school, she tends to lock herself up in her room. On the rare occasions she does poke her head outside, she actively evades any real attempt at conversation. Now there's a question. How about Sakaki? What does she do with her free time? I'm not that caught up on actually finding an answer to this question, but I can't deny that the contrast between the shameless openness of this bunch and Sakaki's cloak of secrecy leaves me slightly interested. Yes. Can we get an answer from someone who actually knows what she's doing? You're observant, Sachi, bizarrely so. Wait, is he talking about that time we investigated Sakaki? I thought our mission wrapped up after we succeeded in startling the girl, exposing her scaredy cat nature, and generally making life miserable for her. But apparently Sachi was still on observation duty. I'm sure they are, so try not to waste them on stupid crap, alright? At any rate, it seems the bookworm theory is fairly dubious. When you describe her that concisely, Sakaki really does seem quite the fearsome character, doesn't she? Maybe. I don't know. I think we were talking about leisure time and hobbies here, but somehow the topic of discussion seems to have shifted to Sakaki's sex life. How'd that happen exactly?
暇で何もすることなかったらとりあえずエッチに走るんじゃないのかな。じゃあ
That's all they want to
何
talk
か榊さ
about.
んに変化がありましたら皆さんにご報告いたしますね。
Okay. Bye.